Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? Today I'm going to explain my favorite deck because it's such a strategical deck, the Cloudian deck. Basically all you gotta know is there's something called a fog counter in Cloudian decks where it depends on summons and such. For fog counter supremacy, you're definitely gonna want to put something called ultimate offering. That's gonna give you a shit ton of fog counters, and it's gonna help you just control the field. With a water attribute fairy type, you're gonna be a pretty solid thing. You're gonna have cards like salvage, and you're definitely gonna want to have sanctuary in the sky and spirit barrier, because even though Claudians can't be destroyed by battle, the fact that defense isn't an option, you're going to want Sanctuary in the Sky or Spirit Barrier to prevent the battle damage, really. But, I mean, Salvage is really good. Fallen monsters are just going to bring right back to your hand if they are destroyed somehow. I'd probably suggest the Sangin, Mother Grizzly, maybe Athena, I think, for fairy types. I personally do not have Athena, but Athena has the ability to special summon Cloudians from the graveyard if they are destroyed by just sacrificing smaller Cloudians, kind of like Smoke Ball and such. But they're not really strong, but if you utilize the fog counters with Atlas and such, you're going to be really good. For example, if you swarm the field and destroy your opponent's cards with fog counters and inflict burn damage with natural disaster, you're probably going to win. But, how do I explain this? I mean, Nimbus Man, if you get Nimbus Man out there, his raw beatdown power can just destroy the competition. There's not really any thing that can destroy him. I mean, I've gotten myself destroyed at a hobby tournament by a Stardust Dragon. That's really probably the only huge counter to a Cloudian deck. I mean, yeah, there are still a few things that you can get rid of the Stardust Dragon with, but it's a pretty big stab in the heart. But the only bad part is Cloudian's effects only work when you have enough fog counters. So if you don't have the fog counters, you're pretty much screwed. There's a lot of cards you can quickly summon. The Sheep Cloud, Turbulence, they're gonna quickly swarm the field if you utilize them good. And their strength to destroy cards using fog counters is definitely gonna just help you. But the bad thing is, this is a totally 100% strategy deck. If you have no strategy, I suggest not using this deck. Not because it's a bad idea to use this deck. It's just that it's a really strategical intensive deck. I mean, I'm not a total expert with Cloudians. I do sort of know some strategies. I mean, I'm not a tournament taker with these. Six Samurai, I'll probably get to another one tonight. Well, Six Samurais, which I'm an expert at Six Samurais. I did pull a couple crap moves, but in some of my my earlier duels in the past few years with Six Samurais. But it's all about using them to the full extent of how a card can be used. Like, if you can utilize an effect good, then that's great. But if you can't, just don't use that card. So yeah. Now I'm just going to go by a couple recommended cards in my opinion. You're probably going to want Spirit Barrier, Sanctuary in the Sky, indefinitely Athena, Turbulence, Smoke Balls. A lot of people criticize me when they see my Cloudian deck because of Victoria. I have Victoria for the sole reason that fairy monsters cannot be targeted when she's there. But, I mean, you're probably going to get criticized majorly for having Victoria in your deck just because it's Victoria. But, in my suggestion, my personal 100% suggestion. I'd want her in my deck. Something I don't do, but my friend does, is use Smoky Mokies with just like Moki Moki Smackdown, utilizing Cloudians. It's not really an original thing that you're gonna do, but he pulls it that way, so let's go with him. I'd have Mage Power, probably level limit, which I don't have. A Legendary Ocean I have. I also have Yumi, which probably I shouldn't have. I just have that in there because, I mean, it's a nice card to have with the water tribute. But Rocky Peelder is pretty good. It's gonna weaken your enemy's monster cards, so it's pretty good. But yeah, so that's my little session about Cloudian deck. So I suggest using it if you're a strategical intensive duelist. If you're not, I do not suggest you use this deck. So thank you for watching this video. Subscribe and do it up. Thank you very much, and I'll see you later.